How's it going, everybody? How is it going? And as you can see, we're back with some more finance ASMR. In today's video, we got a very important topic: high yield savings accounts and money market accounts. What are they? How to use them? Should I use them? Yes, you should use them. But let's just get into it. It's going to be very basic, like usual. Nothing too advanced. Very simple. For those of you who may not understand it, just to make it easy. And then I put Boost Your Cash with the safe, easy to use options. Let me get my headphones in so I can hear what I'm doing here. Easy to use options, yep. Let's just rip right into it. And then before I get started, as usual, you guys know I link my Robinhood link in the description. So if you want free stocks, go sign up through my link. It's free. You just gotta link your bank account. You don't even have to deposit anything, and then you get free stocks. I get free stocks. So win for both of us. It's in the description. Enough of that crap. What are they? What are they? What are they? So there's a high yield savings account and money market account. They both have the same idea. They give you a better yield on your cash, right? But they're a little bit different in what they do and what they offer. So a high yield savings account, it usually tends to pay a higher percentage APY rather than traditional savings. Well, it does rather than traditional savings, because on regular savings accounts at your bank, I believe you get, I don't even know, like 0.0 something maybe percent. With high yield savings accounts, you can get right now close to 4 before the rate cuts that will probably happen. But anyway, it's still much better than a regular savings account. Money market accounts, it's more of a hybrid account, higher interest and easier to access than like regular savings or checkings accounts. You can write checks out of them. You can have a debit card for your money market, so it's really, really efficient. They're really handy. That's what I have as a money market. Well, I have two different things. I'll explain why they matter. So, like I said, traditional savings around 0.38% interest rate. That is horrible. Very bad. High yield savings accounts, money market accounts, anywhere from 4 to 4. I meant to put 4.5% today. Right now, my current money market account is at 4% now. This is before the rate cuts that are expected to happen this month, so they might go down. Well, if the cuts happen, they will go down, but still much better than a regular savings account. So, an example, on $30,000, that's $3 a year for a regular savings account versus $1,300 in a high yield savings account. That's insane. That is insane for money you just have sitting in there. Honestly, I did that math a while ago. That doesn't sound right for the savings account, but let me see. So on average savings account, 3,000 times 0.38%. Okay, divided by 12. Okay, maybe it's not $3. I don't know, but it's not very much. Anyways, so, and then most of them are FDIC insured, so your money in there up to $250,000 is insured. So you're not going to lose it. Or if you do lose it, you'll get it back. And then some features of the high yield savings account. So this is the high yield savings account. Features, pros and cons. Features, usually online only. Good compound interest, no withdrawal penalties. So you can withdraw whatever you want, whenever you want. Or not whenever you want, but you get no penalties. Pros, higher rates, lower fees, and liquid cash. And then some cons, there are limited withdrawals with some of them, 6 per month on average. You know, some of them have more, some of them have less. It just depends on which one you would choose. Usually it's not an issue. You're not withdrawing from your savings more than 6 times a month. Hopefully you're not. Unless an emergency, I guess, happens, which is what these are for. There's no debit or check access. So you can't write checks or debit out of most of them. I don't know about every single high yield savings account. Maybe there are some where you can, but most of them, no checks, no debit access. But you do get a little bit higher interest. So money market accounts, pros and cons. Let's start with the cons. Usually higher minimums. So you're gonna have to have a little bit more money inside a money to start one and to maintain it without it getting fees that occur. I don't know, whatever the word is, you know what I mean? So this may not be true for all of them though, because on my money market, on Fidelity, which is what I use and what I recommend, Fidelity is very, very nice. Super easy. It never said anything about a minimum balance in there, and I've had low balances in there on a couple of my accounts when I first started. I didn't get any fees, so it may just be brokerage specific. So Fidelity, I would go Fidelity. It's a slightly lower APY, which is slightly lower interest rate, not by much. So honestly, I'm a money market fan myself, but some features here. Often you can have a debit card for your money market account. You can write checks on your money market account, and it is super, super efficient. You can sign these up through most banks, honestly, in the U.S. at least. You just walk into your bank, and most of them have a money market account, but they might be a little bit lower than the online brokerages. Like Fidelity is higher than some of the banks I know of. But like I said, go to maybe credit unions. Credit unions tend to have a little bit higher money market accounts. So look around your area, see if you can find any good rates, and go in there and inquire. Go ask the bankers. Say, hey, what's your money market rates? What's your minimums? What's your fees? You know, look into it. Do some research. Trust me, it's worth it. Because you're getting more money on your cash just sitting in there doing nothing. And you can use it too. It's like a better checking account. I love it. Although I don't use mine as a checking account, I just have it in there for savings. But I like having it as a money market so I can use it if I ever need to, right? A little bit quicker. Easier access. It's insured. We've been over that. Money markets. I love money market. But they're both good. So I made this little graph. So interest rate, high yields. Remember, this is for the average. There might be some that are higher, lower. I'm going average. High yield savings accounts, interest rate tends to be a little bit higher. Access transfers only for the high yield savings account. Like I said, you can transfer it back to your bank, back to your regular checking account, and then use it, right? Minimum balance, low or none for the high yield savings account, which is really nice if you don't have a lot of money. It's good for emergency funds. Very good for emergency funds. That's what I have one of my emergency funds in. And then it's best for max earnings and savings. Like I said, emergency fund. Money you put in there you don't plan on touching unless you have an emergency, right? So it grows and grows and grows. Nice. It's good for that. Money market account, slightly lower interest rates. Not that much. Just look around, you'll find something good. Checks and debit access. So if you trust yourself with that money and not going crazy, you are able to have that debit card access or check access to it. So that's very, very nice. I don't use it too much. I have access to the debit card. I've never used it. I just end up transferring it to my bank if I do, because I don't keep too much money in my regular checking account with my bank. Only literally like a couple grand. I don't like keeping a lot of money in there. I just keep minimums on stuff in case, I can't get a transfer over or a paycheck for some reason doesn't come in. Just keep a couple grand in there. Everything else is going in a money market or into stocks, savings, that kind of stuff. And then access and a decent yield is what it's best for. But let's see what I got here. How to choose. If you need quick access to the money, debit checks, money market account is the way to go for you. Find one of your local banks, local credit unions, ask around, look around online, call. You don't even gotta go in, just call them. Inquire about it. Trust me, it's worth it. You want the highest return and you don't need spending access. So emergency funds, you're saving up a house fund, something like that, any fund that you don't plan on touching the money for a long time. High yield savings account is the way to go, for sure. And then check minimums, caps, FDIC coverage, that's for both of them. So just make sure you're looking into the minimums and the requirements for each, so you're not getting hit with fees. So please, 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 please do your research. I am not a financial advisor either. I just want to say that disclaimer. I'm just a guy who enjoys finance, so do your own research. And they're both FDIC insured. Make sure they are. Best practices: use high yield savings account, money market for emergency funds. You can use both of them for an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses. So that's your rent, that's your mortgage payment, whatever it is, your any other expenses, gas, utilities, phone bill, everything. 3 to 6 months is what you generally want to have for an emergency fund. Like I said, compare rates. Call your banks, your credit unions. Look around. Find your rates. Find your best rates, and you will find some better rates. Do some research. Like I said, monitor fees and withdrawal limits to make sure you're not getting hit with those unnecessary fees, man. Because that'll eat into your profits, eat into your gains. It's not very hard to do. It's pretty easy. Just honestly, you could probably use ChatGPT to figure it out. Summary. I know this is a shorter video, but it's not a very in-depth video. It's an in-depth topic. It's pretty simple. High yield savings account, higher yield, online, best for savings growth money. You're not gonna touch. You're putting it in there, letting it grow slowly in case you need it for an emergency, or you're saving up for a house, saving up for something. Keep that over there. Money market account, you want access to it. You want to be able to write checks off of it. Debit card, use your debit card and get a debit card for it. It's kind of a blending of savings and checking, which is my preferred option. But both are great. Like I said, both are safe, insured vehicles for your cash. So please do your research, find out what works best for you. And if you guys do have questions, drop them in the comments below. I personally, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, but I like money market accounts. Just because you do have that option in case you do want more access to it. Like I said, I don't use it. I just keep it in there kind of like high yield savings, but I like having the ability to set up a debit card, in the future if I do want one. Fidelity makes it super easy. Fidelity is so nice, user friendly, free, may I add. Robinhood has money market or APY kind of thing, but you have to sign up with Robinhood Gold and pay money. So for a high yield savings account, probably not Robinhood, unless you want Robinhood Gold, which has a lot of features. But I know Schwab has free money markets. I'm sure other places do too. Other brokerages. Do your research, look for the better rates. But if the rate is a little too good to be true, be cautious. Be cautious, right? Guys, please let me know if you want more finance videos. I know this one was a little bit shorter, but let me know down below. Drop a like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.